What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. I hope you're ready for a brand new experience when you load up Madden today, because there is yet another update. Before we get into the video, down in the description, link to my sponsor, Steel Supplements. All the sales are over, guys. My promotion code RM21 will save you 10% on, seriously, what is the best supplements in the market. Last night, EA hit a milestone. Believe it or not, they were trending on Twitter, and it wasn't for something negative. No hashtag drop EA, no fix Madden franchise. They were just trending because someone mentioned, I don't know, the announcing of the game. I was really surprised it wasn't for anything negative. But then they come out today, and they are ready to knock everyone back with a December title update. You know it's addressing stability issues. You know it's got gameplay and tuning and bug fixes. But they never really tell you exactly what they're doing. They do have 4 more superstar abilities, 3 new X Factor players, 12 new superstar players, and avatar customization that we've all begged for, right? Let's talk about the gameplay updates first and foremost. An issue with the ball velocity not always reaching the desired speed on some specific quarterback passing animations, really going to come into next-gen stats when you don't have that right? If that's what you're going to sell us for next gen, you better have that ball velocity correct. If not, that whole time in the pocket and distance the pass goes doesn't seem to matter. Now, I will also offer, this game has had to deal with these 2 things constantly. Tuning to improve deep zone defenders' reactions to crossing routes. How many times do they have to adjust this before they play with common sense? And then tuned down cut reaction time for linebackers in man-to-man coverage facing away from the quarterback. These issues have plagued Madden for 15 years, and they're still updating them. Superstar ability. I'm only going to focus on the 1. Actually, I'll focus on the 2, because the 1 is called Film Study. This was in the beta, and people were very, very vocal about it. The defender with this ability will have full vision of plays the offense has to run 5 times each quarter via coach cam. They even go on to say that they've reworked the ability because there was a lot of negative feedback about this in the beta. They did say at the time they were going to bring it back into the game. I'm shocked they did. I really am surprised that they are going to let someone have a player give full vision of the offensive play 5 times each quarter. I don't also know why there isn't one on the opposite side. Why don't you have a film study quarterback where they could see what the defense is running? Now, I would offer that this isn't as significant as it once was, because as the game has came out, we know there's people that have found exploits. They go and run the same plays over and over and over again, especially online. I'm sure a large amount of plays ran by an individual would go 60-70% in terms of style, and in some case maybe 30-40% in terms of a specific play. So this doesn't really have the penalty that it once may have had back when the game was far more balanced, much less glitchy, and didn't become so dependent on these monthly updates to fix it. I will say it's very interesting to me that the next superstar ability is actually called Backlash. So they put out Film Study, which got a lot of backlash, and within that, they say we're going to have another superstar ability, which we're going to call Backlash. You can't make EA up sometimes. But this is what they've went ahead and done. I will say the Backlash was given to Derrick Henry, which he was one of the most deserving superstar players. Even though the Colts kind of shut him down in the first game, we really didn't in the second game. There's also honorary lineman named after Clint. So they do add these in, but I think the reality is these don't change gameplay. And we've talked about this time and time again. You have to give us something sustainable to make us come back and play the game. Giving a player, or in this case, removing superstar players' abilities, which in this actual update, Drew Brees, Calais Campbell, DeMarcus Lawrence, Rob Gronkowski, Zach Ertz, T.Y. Hilton, Justin Simmons, Matt Ryan, Julian Edelman, Carson Wentz, Ryan Kerrigan, Cortland Sutton, all lost or are no longer superstars. So don't take a look at this at face value and think, well, they're just adding things to the game. They're also removing things from the game. Now, as a Colts fan, I can sit here and be happy that DeForest Buckner is now getting new X Factors. I could respect that T.Y. Hilton has lost his X Factor ability, but at the same time, understand, you're giving and you're taking away. When you present me something that has gameplay issues, gameplay updates that really don't add much, you are dependent on the X Factors and the Superstars ultimately becoming the reason I want to go play the game, right? You have to sit through this patch to download. Are you willing to take that time to play the most recent Madden? That's a decision a lot of people have to make. And for me, it comes down to going and making these small changes. Don't actually make the overall experience different. It's not making the game better for me. It's giving them a lot of pages. It's giving them a lot of context to say, hey, look at all the things we did. But it's really not making the game better. And I think this is a big area that EA struggles with. Right? Why don't you take, instead of listing 10 or 15 players that lost or got downgraded superstar abilities, why not just come out and say, hey, we made changes to all these players. We're not going to tell you what they are, but go in, get the game, and you'll see the changes we made, and we believe it's going to be realistic. We believe it's going to make the game better. Because without that, all you're doing is changing the labels the players have. And I guess it also brings up an interesting concept. When you look at a player like Drew Brees, and you remove the pro reads ability, you look at a player like Calais Campbell, they removed unstoppable force and edge threat. Who makes that determination? Is that stat-driven? Is that emotional-driven? Is that performance-driven? Because Drew Brees didn't just suddenly lose an ability in real life, right? Nothing happened to Calais Campbell to make him less effective as a defensive player. Age certainly caught up to both of these players. So are you telling me that with age, players automatically lose some of their luster, but the only way you're willing to replicate that is through a superstar downgrade, through not giving them a superhero ability that you once claimed that they have? Are you telling me that it's going to make the game better when DK Metcalf has a deep out elite or a red zone threat? Why did it take to December to know that? Right? This guy is literally making the Seahawks look like they were the most intelligent team in the draft to take a shot on this guy. This guy looks like he could be one of the best receivers for the next 10 years. He looks like he's the only one that might be able to give Tyreek Hill a little bit of a run for his money. And what Tyreek Hill's doing is insane. To that point, that's what superstar abilities and X Factors don't bring to Madden. And I've said that from the beginning. When you look at the performance that DK Metcalf has had this season, when you look at the game, when you look at the half that Tyreek Hill had on Sunday, Madden doesn't have those moments. Madden doesn't have that once in a lifetime, this player went absolutely off. Right? 200 yards plus in the first half. Right? When you're watching the game, you're doing so with the anticipation that a record is going to be broken. It doesn't happen in Madden. A lot of these things don't happen in Madden. And I'm not saying they happen in other football games, but when you're the only NFL simulation game, you owe it to the community to provide some level of rarity to bring replayability. And when your entire update revolves around, we made some changes to issues that have been in the game for 10 years, we tuned and fixed some things, but we're not going to tell you what. And just to that point, although I don't show it, because there's really nothing to show, the Yard updates and Superstar KO updates literally cite stability enhancements. So you're enhancing the game's ability to be stable? How does that make sense? I mean, stability improvements, improve stability, I understand. Stability enhancements, that doesn't even make sense. Oh, we've enhanced its ability to remain stable. Okay, what did you do? All of this, to me, is fluff. It's just non-stop fluff. Instead of showcasing the next-gen game that's going to release in a matter of days, right? Instead of working on that product to make sure it is the best it can be at launch, They are sitting here and going over fluff, putting little icons on players, removing little icons from their players, and then sitting here and telling you, oh, it's revitalized the game. Oh, it's made the game different. It's worth your time to download and play today. And quite frankly, guys, it's not, and it hasn't been for a long time. And no icon they add, no badge they give, no ability they create is going to change how boring and bland this game is. It's not going to interest anyone more. You can't sell the game on this stuff. They need to sit down, get core gameplay better, and then once core gameplay has improved, then build upon that. Then worry about these little fine details of what a player's nuances are. Until then, they're just going to be behind and get further behind. All Pro Football 2K did a video on it yesterday, have a video coming up tonight, have more content with it through the week, and the more Madden fans that see that game, the more people I see ask, what game is this? Because they don't know. It's been too long, but they're about to find out. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you checking it out. You know I will be back in the week with more commentary.